that means they can hear. All right. Lassor, say something so they can actually... Okay, they can hear me. Yes, confirmation.
Hello, everyone.
Can you hear him? Did you hear the hello? He was playing guitar for me earlier, by the way. I really wanted him to start like on the guitar, but he said it wasn't comfortable. So I think he's just being...
Hey, guys.
All right,
welcome.
They hear you.
Too shy.
Sweet.
Let me know if
All right,
if
everybody.
you can hear them.
Hello. Welcome to a Friday late afternoon stream. So hopefully people are awake. Hi, Europe, if you're tuning in. I know it's late for you. But hopefully it's worth it. We have got an interesting stream today. But before we start with that, before we start talking about what it's about, I'm going to do some introductions in case people don't know who we are. I am Nitocris, or Julia, the community manager for Neverwinter.
Let me know if you can hear them.
By Michael Lynch, otherwise
if not,
known as
I will
Lassor,
jack up the volume.
who used to be a producer and then switched over to systems design because he's a masochist.
Something like that.
Yeah. Yeah. Do you want to say anything else about you, Lassor?
No, I'm systems designer on a team. I mostly focus on dungeon and trial content, but as a systems designer, I touch all sorts of things, and some of those things we'll talk about today.
Yeah. A few weeks ago, Lassor approached me saying, hey, I want to do a stream about system stuff that's coming up. And I was like, okay, I'll do a Q&A. And he's like, no. We've got a lot to cover. We're going to do presentation. So today we're going to have a unique, different type of stream for you all where I will be switching soon to the main screen where you'll be able to see the presentation. And, this will also be available, like the stream will be available later, but it is a lot of information. It is system stuff. Lassor, do you want me to give you questions as they come up or wait till the end of the presentation?
Very nice. They have a presentation, guys.
Either way.
Okay. I'll probably...
Either way, I'm cool. We'll wing it.
All right. I'll probably throw questions at you from chat that I see. But yeah, there's a lot of stuff to cover, and I'm sure people are seeing words on that screen that are like trials, queues, rewards. That's exciting. So hopefully
nobody cares about that stuff, right?
Yeah, nobody cares. All right. So we usually have a stream that's about an hour long. We did carve out extra time because there's a lot of content to cover again. So
she can't shut up, man.
Hopefully you all can stay with us while we do this. So let me switch to the main camera, and you should be able to see the presentation. Let me also
trial reworks, queues, and chest rewards.
All right.
Hey, look at that, Julia. You're not the only one that thinks my background's fake.
Oh, I need to remove those titles. No one needs to see who we are anymore. Yes. That is that. So yes, his background is it's actually his home.
What's up, Scott?
But it is the trippiest background because it really does look like a set.
I live in a cabin. It's real.
You do. Cabin in the woods. All right. Well, this is your show, Lassor. I'm just here for the ride and to look at questions. So go ahead.
Sounds good. All right. I'm here today to talk to you all about the trial reworks I've been working on, some changes to queues, and changes to chest rewards. So
finally,
let's start off by actually having it move. There we go. So let's start off with Tiamat. As some of you may have already heard, we are reworking the Tiamat trial. There is going to be a normal and a master mode. The normal mode, obviously, targeting, our average players, more on the casual side to normal abilities, and master mode being for the elite, the hardcore, however you want to classify those types of players.
Sounds good.
It has completely new mechanics and flow. So if you are going to go into this trial thinking your previous knowledge of Tiamat is going to be of some help to you, you are sadly mistaken. It is all new and exciting new challenges for you to overcome. The horde functionality has been removed. So none of the horde contribution from the campaign. The campaign's actually been reworked, which is part of M23. So there's nothing there, and that also means that the artifact, Tiamat's Orb of Mastery, is now just always available, regardless of, any...
Just like your sister? Goddamn.
Any contributions from elsewhere.
Okay.
There were dragon cultist masks, and those will be retained in the new trial. but they are distributed between the two versions. They are strictly transmutes now. They might have had stats before. I honestly can't recall. But those are transmutes now, and they are tradable. So if you get one, you could trade it, give it to a friend, trade it on the auction house, whatever you like. There were 5 masks before. 4 of them are in the trial.
Could be a
one of them was actually a duplicate from Shores of
highly
Turn.
doubt it.
So that one is just strictly in Shores of Turn now, and the other 4 are in the Tiamat trial. So on the normal version, that will be added to the RTQ, the random trial queue. And on the rewards front, the neck and waist that accompany the Tiamat's Orb of Mastery artifact, those have been increased in item level. They're up to 1,000 now. I think there were 600 or so before. So that might be that might make that particular set a little more interesting for some of you. On the master side of things, the item level requirement to get in will be 70,000, which might be a bit of a shock to some of you, considering Crown of Keldagon is currently at 50, but that will be less shocking as we continue. But yeah, 70,000, it will be the highest item level requirement in the game to get in. There's a new artifact set to chase, so that will be at the artifact item levels that are current with the current module, so they'll be very high item level. And for those of you that want an extra challenge, there's a host of achievements attached to the master version of the trial. And if you complete them all, you will get a unique title and a cape. And I can tell you they are brutal achievements. So if you pull this off, I will be impressed. And you will have a very unique title and cape to show off to the rest of the player base of your amazing accomplishments.
Can I use Dev Magic to give it to myself?
Just let the man speak.
Yeah, I mean, I can't stop you.
I'm not sure if you cover this at all later on, but I did want to add that a special thank you to all the early access folks who have been helping us test Tiamat, and there's a lot of deaths. They really did an amazing job at helping us, Lassor, figure out just how painful to make it. But one of the most common feedback was that it was actually fun. The pain was fun pain. So
I feel like I slowly corrupted Julia over time, because at first she doesn't interact with this section of the player base very often. So they went in and they were just dying over and over again, as I intend. And she's like, "This is horrible." I'm like, "No, it's great."
Players. My instinct as a community manager is to want to protect them, but I realize some of them don't want to be protected. So, but then like last week, she's like, "You should kill them some more." I'm like, "Yes." She's come to the dark side. We're getting a questioning: is Tiamat upgrade retroactive?
I'm not sure what that means. Do you mean that the old one will be retained?
Or if achievements from the old one will carry over to the new one?
Oh, no, the achievements won't carry over, but you won't lose them. So those will be just legacy at that point.
Okay.
So it's brand new achievements that you can go after.
Thank you for the follow or sub.
All right. The new artifact set is bound or unbound?
Whatever the default is, which I believe is unbound.
We're going to have a dev blog on Tiamat, which we will specify the binding status. So
that's mostly Miku's department. So I just kind of like, let's put it here.
But yeah, the Jira to read the dev blog is on you, by the way. So get me a Tiamat. They also want to know when can they expect the new Tiamat?
That's a good question. That's really a production question. I don't know if both versions will be released at the same time or they'll be staggered, but if they are staggered, it will be the reverse from the past. So if we do the staggered approach, it'll be normal and then master.
Yeah, so, I believe it is planned to be staggered, but I will confirm as we get closer to the release date of Dragon Slayer.
Yeah, I just make it and they decide when it goes. But it's in great shape right now. We're really happy about that. And to that point, sometime today, I'm going to unlock it for the weekend for everybody to test. That'll be both versions. So I'll be looking around, watching people jump in the trial, hopefully, and see how you like it and get some feedback from you all. So
Show-
exciting stuff.
Show mommy how much you love her. So I think retroactive meaning will old set be upgraded to new levels. So if you got Tiamat old sets and stuff, will they be upgraded?
Yes. If you already have those items, they will just automatically be upgraded to the new item levels.
Sweet.
But that's specifically for normal. The set in Master is completely new, so that doesn't have any connection.
Cool. Will normal be the same as Master, but just less deaths? So I guess mechanics.
There will be the overall mechanics will be the same, but they will be used in much more brutal ways on the Master version.
Really?
So if your question is more, can you learn the mechanics of the fight in the normal version?
Welcome.
Mostly yes, but those mechanics will be employed in much more devastating fashion on Master mode. So it's not 1-to-1, but in essence they're the same.
So Ranger Reek said 25% again. I'm saying no, it's 10. 10.
It is 10.
Yeah.
I have old sets.
So that's software. I would make anything, but software is the one that would yell at me to say that's gonna
the maps are
cause
overloaded.
problems.
10 for both. I'm seeing if it's for normal and Master. Yeah, 10 for both normal and Master. So.
Please
Cool.
That one. All right. I guess you can go. I'll keep an eye on the questions. So.
All right, moving on to Demogorgon, which was recently removed from the RTQ. So Demogorgon will also be getting a normal and a Master mode. Unlike Tiamat, the flow of Demogorgon will be mostly the same, so it won't be like a completely new experience, but there will be new mechanics and new challenges. So we're working through those now and trying to get it into a good place. But yeah, the general flow of the fight will be the same, but there will be new things within it. There will be some new transmute rewards put in both versions of it. Those will once again be tradable. For the normal version, that will also be added to the RTQ. Hopefully this time with a little more success than the last time in terms of its approachability and completion rates and things of that nature. And then once again, upgraded item levels for the Demon Lord Waist and Neck. So the Demon Lord set will be brought back into normal, and those item levels on the Waist and Neck will be brought up to 1,000 item level. The artifact will still be in Castle Never. As for Master, the item level requirement to get in will be 60,000.
Yeah, about time, man.
That's where the Demogorgon's Reach artifact set will end up, so it will be in the Master mode now, as opposed to, let's call it the hybrid mode, because it wasn't quite a normal and it wasn't quite a Master, it was somewhere in between. But Demogorgon's Reach artifact set will be in Master. And there will be a meta achievement for Demogorgon Master as well, with a unique reward in the title. I haven't gotten all of the approvals for it, but what I'm hoping is the unique reward is a Demogorgon vanity pet, because that's what I want. But we'll see. Don't hold me to that one, but that is the hope, that it'll be a Demogorgon vanity pet. And once again, the meta achievement will be made with the intent of being an extreme challenge. There's a list of achievements on there for that trial, and the intent is that they will be very, very difficult to achieve.
Got a couple questions. Are there any plans to scrap being scaled down in dungeons and trials?
Certainly not if they're attached to a queue. So if they're part of like a random queue, then no. For some things like Master Trials, we already don't have scaling, so that's already a reality in those places. But bigger picture, like if scaling were to be removed from other things, that's certainly not a question I could answer. But if it's attached to a random queue or something like that, then absolutely not.
Will tanks actually need to aggro swap then, I hope, says Grimsh.
So I don't want to give away too much, but there still will be an aggro. There will be an aggro switch that will be beneficial, but maybe not necessarily required. So like in normal, it might be more like, oh, this is beneficial to do, but if you you've got new tanks that maybe don't know the mechanics, you could probably get away with it.
Yeah, I know.
In
Vlad, I
Master,
know.
you'll probably almost certainly die
I hear you.
if I tune it correctly. So yes and no.
So actually that goes to the next question was Alpha Stream says, can you speak a bit to why it's been hard for the teams to get the right challenge balance upon release for Demogorgon or Tiamat? Has testing methodology changed?
No, I wouldn't. So this kind of goes into the topics we're going to be covering as we progress through this, let's call it presentation. But one of the challenges is
I know,
that
Winter. I know, mate.
trials were being accessed by players that weren't necessarily ready for that level of challenge, and they were being incentivized by the increased AD rewards. So that was part of it. Like our intent were that trials are a more difficult experience than like a dungeon experience. But the reward situation wasn't directing players to the right types of content for them. So, but I would say that the tank swap was still too difficult for a random group situation. So
like
that was just a mistake that we will be correcting. But in terms of why a lot of groups couldn't complete it, it's a large part of that is just not directing players in the correct manner.
Yeah. That's right.
The meta achievement will be time limited from trial release or limited to first X amount of people?
No, it's not limited. Anyone can get it. It's just very difficult to get.
Let's see. Will we see any updates to the rings that used to drop from Demogorgon?
No, they're just not in there anymore, and that goes into the other stuff. So the rings are gone.
All right. Let me make sure I didn't lose anything. Will we get an upgraded Drowcraft set? The set was made specifically for the trial.
That's a good question. I think Wilbur brought it up to me at some point. I don't know. Is the only answer I could give right now. It's interesting. I wasn't around during the original Demogorgon. That's before my time on the team. But from what I gathered in data when messing with the trial, it seemed like it had some sort of reduction on the madness.
Let's see what it did with the dungeons.
Which could be potentially an interesting thing to look into, but I'd have to sync up with Miku and see if that's even possible, especially given our timeline. So I'd say probably no, but maybe. Preview is a time to get player feedback and respond. So I certainly don't want to close the door on something like that.
Cool. I guess if you want to move on, you can.
Cool. All right, queue adjustments. So before we jump into all of this, I just want to reiterate that this is all subject to change. This is all going on preview to get feedback, and what I'm attempting to do here is just explain where things are at right here at the beginning of preview, so everybody has like a shared understanding of where we're at, and then you can make comments appropriately informed about where we're at and what we're intending to do. But and also another note is that as I tackled this stuff, it's all interconnected. So you mess with one thing and it's like, cool, this is where I want it, but now it's had these effects on other pieces of the puzzle. So as we move through these slides, I would just suggest that you try to take it all in and think of it as a whole holistic system.
Hey,
because otherwise you're going to see certain changes where you're like, this is the best thing in the world. Actually. And then other things are like, this is the worst thing in the world. But you have to really think about it all together as a complete system. So with saying that, let's jump into the queue adjustments. So skirmishes have all been set to 20k item level. Not a big change here. It was already a 20k item level requirement to get into skirmishes, and this is just really unifying skirmishes and making them all set to the same variables, really. So not a big change there. Dungeons, a much bigger change, have been set to 25k item level. What that means is that the random dungeon queue will require 25k item level to get into it. Previously, it was like level 5. It was very low. And that was feedback we got over and over again. Hey, it's kind of hard to complete a dungeon when you're level 5. You don't even have Paragon abilities at this point. You haven't chosen a Paragon path. So that has gone up significantly in terms of entry. Trials have been set to 30K, and once again, that'll make the random trial queue 30K in order to enter. This kind of goes back to a little bit to the previous point of, you know, a lot of players would get to 25K item level, and because of the massive rewards for doing a trial, that's where they wanted to go, because that's where they're going to get all the goodies that they want. So this will be one mitigation factor for that it's a higher item level to get in, but the reward situation will play into that as well. Advanced dungeons, once again, increased. They are all increased to 35K with the exception of Vault of Stars, which remains at whatever it's set to. I believe it's 45K, and that will make the advanced dungeon queue a 35K item level entry. Now on the master trial front, our master trials, a lot of them are set to really low item levels, which don't align with their intended difficulty, which is extreme difficulty. So we are addressing that. Tower of the Mad Mage is getting increased to 50K item level. Zariel's Challenge Master is getting increased to 55K item level. Demogorgon, as we went over earlier, is 60K. Crown of Keldagon Master is getting increased to 65K item level. And that is a trial I'll be looking at personally, because we don't want to make it like a lot more difficult than it used to be. So it's like the intent is that it's going up to 65K item level, but it will more or less retain its difficulty. I'm just going to bring everything down to sort of current levels when I do a pass on that. And then another thing that we're looking at doing is investigating whether we can bring Zariel's Challenge into the RTQ. That would, of course, be the normal version, not the master. If you go on preview right now, you'll see it in the RTQ. We're unsure right now if that's going to stay there or not for the release of the module. We are a little concerned that it could turn into another Demogorgon situation, and we obviously want to avoid that at all costs. So we're seeing if that's something that maybe we could do for this release or not.
Cool. We're seeing some comments. Thank you. No more random queue with random dungeon queue with low levels. Yes. Yep. Thank God. So it looks like some people are really happy about that. Glad you're looking at these.
Is it getting good again? I don't know.
And some people say 35K is still too low. And let's see.
3 anyway.
Yeah, I mean, so far looks like a lot of comments. Nice. Someone asking Crown of Keldagon get a normal. I replied earlier in chat. Yes, Crown of Keldagon is getting a normal standard mode. That was actually part of that. What actually kicked off most of the early access, and the group of players really did a great job, and Miku did an awesome job. So yes, Crown of Keldagon should be going out. The normal mode should be going out with the Dragon Slayer release. Let's see. Sectomy says increase the dungeons no normal people can do and decrease the normal stuff. I think that's you have a certain philosophy over master should be the hardest content. You should be prepared for it. Correct, Lassor?
Master trials, yeah, for sure. Sorry, master trials are intended to be the hardest challenges we have in the game, bar none. They are extreme challenges.
All right.
Yeah, 2 years ago, maybe more.
Some questions about AD gain and stuff, but I think you're going to get into rewards later on. If I
yeah. Well, we're going to cover all that. Don't worry.
All right.
Okay. It's all gonna come together as I was gonna say beautiful portrait at the end.
Yeah, they're getting questions about rewards, so I'm gonna let you.
Yeah. Okay. So let's move on then. Let's move on. So random queue rewards. These over here are the current rewards for each queue. As you can see, there is heavy incentive to run trials because trials only require 25K item level on live. And look at those rewards. You get lots of AD, a huge roll bonus, a lot of greater seals. There's a lot of good stuff in there. And it's also identical AD rewards to Advanced Dungeon, which, Advanced Dungeons are obviously much longer experiences.
Yeah, Lassor always has a good
equation doesn't quite make sense. And then also you see our skirmishes and our dungeons are very low, so there's not a whole lot of incentive to run those because you're not getting nearly as much as you are at the higher level. So we've adjusted that.
I'm going to interrupt you for a second. Someone said clarifying AD or RAD?
RAD.
Okay.
Well,
yes.
of course it's RAD.
We will. I'm going to ask you to edit the thing later
Sure.
on, just because otherwise going to. Yes, it is. It's supposed to be have the R in front of it. So yes.
Yes. Apologies for that.
It's okay.
But yeah, Oh, go ahead.
I was going to say, someone also said that you lined up your slides brilliantly. So I wanted to say thank you to Jules, because I know she helped with the aesthetic.
That's what you said.
Oh, absolutely. Like, this would have just been all text if it was me. So Jules made it pretty.
Yeah, Dark Souls.
Like, I just put the words in.
It's almost like she's good at making pretty things. So
yeah, I know.
It's hard.
And I'm not. But yeah, anyways, as you can see, we've changed the random Q rewards. A lot more emphasis on those lower Qs. So skirmish got doubled to 12,000 AD. You'll notice less seals from these Qs in general. Some of them actually went up. So like dungeon went up, for example. But we'll get into that. It's not actually less overall. It's just less from the actual random Q rewards. But the seals will come from somewhere else. So yeah, double AD on skirmish. Dungeon goes up dramatically. This is where we want a lot of players playing, because dungeons, we have a lot of them. It's 5-man content. It's a good introductory experience to role-based group play. So we definitely want to reward those people playing that content appropriately. So that's all the way up to 30,000 AD, a 5 times increase. And it also will give more seals than previously, and the roll bonus goes up significantly. Trials, as I said, they were a little too incentivized. They were out of line with how long they take and their challenge level. So we brought those down a little bit. That's a 25,000 AD. The seals go down slightly, although in totality, this actually will go up slightly with the other changes. And then the roll bonus comes down a little bit, and then advanced dungeons going up to 40k AD. To give it a little bit more.
Yeah, it is funny that the dungeon is giving more than a trial.
These increases are great. Seems like people are pretty happy about things. So, I guess you did a good job, Lassor.
Well, we're not done yet. They may hate me still.
that's let them get to know you. Are you saying?
Yeah. All right. So moving on. New player bonuses. This is, if you are not aware, if somebody in your group is new to well, there we go. It went before me. Oh, what the heck? All right, well, apparently I'm not that good at PowerPoint. But anyways, if somebody is new in your group session and you complete a piece of content, everybody in that session will get some bonus AD, because you help somebody new out and they've tried a new experience, and that is what we want. We want people trying new things.
RAD.
Rough AD. That is, but as you can see, some of these values are particularly low. Skirmishes were only 600, dungeons were 800, master trials 4,000. So, anyways, we bumped all those up to further incentivize people trying new things and helping other players out. Like, they're new to this experience. It's probably going to be a little bit slower, maybe a little bit more painful to drag someone through. But hey, I'm going to get something, hopefully decent out of it for my extra
effort. This is
all
raw faster
and as you can see, just like other increases, dungeon got a big old boost. It was at 800. It's going up to 6,000. So big old increase there.
Someone says, regarding loot for random queues, what about companion mounts? With the last several mods, these drops have decreased dramatically.
They shouldn't have, and we didn't touch anything. So I think that's just a case of RNG is RNG. But we will get into that sort of stuff coming up.
Cool. Yeah, because they're also, Nick the Paladin says, will you add chests in all content other than the end game that can be claimed without a key or skeleton key?
Chests in all content? Do you mean outside of queues?
It says other than end game, so I am not sure. I will ask.
I would need more clarification on that. But every queued piece of content we have has an end chest.
Cool. All right. Maybe add some insignia powder for completing random queues. Insignia powder is the most.
People like their insignia powder.
So Esther said that. I'm one of those people that in a lot of our work meetings, I'm always the ones like whispering insignia powder. Like I just kind of throw it out there, hoping that one day it'll land. Because I've heard, I hear it. so far, I don't think there's any plans right now, but keep on insisting, and I will keep on insisting for you.
Cool.
All right.
I'm gonna move on. So this is a big one. Chest reroll changes. So one of the difficulties that we have, and this goes back to drop rates, is because players can reroll 10 times, that means we have to account for, let's say something is a 1% drop rate. If you reroll all 10 of the chests, you actually get a 10% chance. So 1% is small, but 10% is large. So there's a big gap there between the chances for players who are rerolling and those who aren't. So if you're not rerolling, your chances are significantly lower, and we wanted to close that gap a little bit. So this is what we've done.
Yeah, we'll see then.
We reduced the amount of rerolls from 4 to 2.
Oh, 2 rerolls.
The price of rerolling increases from 5,000 to 10,000 AD, so the price doubles to reroll. And as a result of those changes, because obviously you can reroll less, so your chances would go down, we've significantly increased the drop rates of everything more or less across the board. So to counter the drop in rerolls, your chances of getting things are significantly increased. So what that does is it increases the value of reroll tokens. It doubles them because you still have the same amount of rerolls, but the value of those rerolls is increased. So reroll tokens become more valuable in this scenario. And if you look at people that didn't reroll, so if you just do a piece of content, you open the 2 chests at the end, your chances of loot are dramatically increased in that scenario because the base chance of those items has increased.
Yeah, they're still.
And if you look at the people that do full rerolls with
the
6 rerolls as opposed to 10 now, it's a minor increase. So if you take something that doubled, for example, let's use easy numbers. So let's say it was a 1% drop rate in the old system. So you rerolled 10 times, you had effectively a 10% chance. If that got doubled, now you have a 2% chance per roll, but you have 6 rerolls, so you have a total of 12%. So it's roughly a 20% increase when we double the chance of getting rewards.
I'm not sure if his math is on this right, but
how that all comes together. I'm sure there's questions.
I think I think
this is not me. This is their stream buffering. Try to refresh.
I'm sure there's questions.
I think I think
yeah, their stream is buffering, and they had such a nice presentation, guys. Such a nice presentation. Oh my god, their stream died. Their stream died, actually. They lost. How can you lose an internet in the middle of the stream? Oh my god. Yeah, Cole, that's not how it works. I mean, my math is not like spot on, but something it's calculated, but good. I'm bad at math. Yeah, right. That's the lag issue we told them about. They didn't fix it, and it's coming home to roast. All right, tough times. It was really a nice stream. I mean, some new information and whatnot, and here we go. I mean, are they coming back or? Right, we'll give them a minute. PowerPoint presentation broke the stream. Yeah. That's right. That's correct. I mean, sound good. I mean, I like the presentation because the previous stream was horrible, and I was like, "Where's the presentation?" And next stream, here we go, presentation. in good old PowerPoint, you know. So now we don't have the full info about the entirety of changes. He still has to go through the chess changes and stuff like that. He was halfway there. Hey Aljosh, what's up, man? Well, the VOD will be there and I'll do the real quick recap, but their stream crashed, so there's that. I mean, I can try to refresh, but that's not going to work. This one really looked nice. I mean, because Lassor, when Lassor is, you know, he's doing stuff. He's working, and I can't play the Frozen theme song. Not on YouTube, buddy. I can't do that. I'm sorry. It's not even frozen. It's totally dead. You got timed out in the stream, Spartan? For what? What did you say? What did you say? What'd you do? What'd you do, man? All right, Peter, back. Thanks for stopping by for the half of the stream. Yeah, that's why I restream it, so you know. It's fine, man. But goddamn, this is unfortunate. There's nowhere his mat can crash the stream. It's just, I don't know. I do not know. I kind of feel bad for Lassor also. He really worked hard. You can see it. He literally said he was deteriorating. So, yeah. Yeah, there are major storms on East Coast. Would be. Their midnight light will check with Julia what's going on. Oh, I think we're back.
We are back after some
We're back, guys.
Technical issues. Basically, I just lost all power. Everything just shut down on me. So hopefully you can all still see the presentation. Let's see. Oh no, Winter Nasty. I noticed that we lost connection. Yes. But yeah, we should be back. Yay! Sweet. That wasn't very too long. So
she lost all power.
I messaged Lassor on our internal chat on my phone saying that it was just this presentation was just too powerful. I couldn't handle it. So yes, ignore the last 5 minutes, says Reiner. So yes. All right. I was probably in the middle of something. I don't know what the last thing you covered was. So you want to restart this screen or?
Well, we already talked about it. Unless I think we crashed after I was done. So I'm sure people had some questions about it.
How much reroll we get from VIP?
Unchanged.
Right, unchanged.
Yep.
Julia, did your
just the value of those rerolls are better are higher in the system because the cost of rerolling is increased.
I have Morrowind.
And the chances of getting loot are increased as well. So
cool.
Hard and grim.
Get better value.
Did your cat pull the plug? No, my cat's sleeping. Could you repeat, please, how the drop percentage increases with every reroll?
No, it's just a base. We just increased base drop rates across the board.
It should be back.
So it's not that your rerolls have a better chance of getting loot. They have the same chance as the initial roll. It's just that rates across the board are increased to offset the reduced number of rerolls.
Let's see.
They still have some problems,
Am I
though.
interpreting the slide correctly that the drop percentage is different on the initial roll than on rerolls?
No, it's all the same.
Okay. What is initial reroll and full rerolls?
I probably could have worded that better. Initial rolls is just, hey, I do a piece of content and it has 2 chests and I open the chest.
Okay.
So in that's what I meant by that. And then full rerolls is rerolling the chest, like every single chest. So if you full reroll in either situation, it's the same AD cost. It's just the percentages chance from the old system to the new system has changed slightly more in your favor.
Cool. Let me see. Other question?
Yeah, PlayStation 4 took a very hard hit on the
Nova
with
wants
the players.
everything account wide.
Player base wise.
Reroll tokens account wide. Yeah, we already answered that one, I believe. The reroll tokens are, or were we talking about something else?
Yeah, somebody. No,
I
they
think that was something
downloading
that,
Zero.
Miku could
Julia
answer better,
lost all her power, bro.
Yeah, specifically the artifact status.
This is talking about the.
This is from the Tiamat thing. So.
Oh, he was asking about the reroll tokens, making them account wide. So we
can that's not anything that I would have influence over.
Yep. So just a heads up for those watching, I do want to have Miku and EP do a stream that's focused just on rewards, so that players can ask questions about rewards. So we will be doing that.
Yeah, it's really drastic on
see.
PlayStation.
Shall we move on?
Yes, I think we can move on.
All right.
They are like
all right. So general
chest
reward changes.
Okay, let's see.
All the obsolete rewards have been removed.
Oh, thank God.
Any why do these keep popping up? That's weird. Any of the old campaign stuff that's no longer relevant. Any of the maybe old upgrade stuff from Black Ice era. Anything like that has all been removed. It shouldn't bother you anymore. Old gear has been removed. Black and Jaw, any of the other ones that have very low item levels and obsolete stats at this point, they've all been removed.
Old Black
Seals of the Adventurer were in a lot of chests. They're all out. Now, try to word this correctly. Drop rate variability per content type has been implemented for mount collars, shards of greater empowerment, and it already actually did exist for premium loot, but a lot of people didn't realize that, and I did a pass on that. So what that means is if you run a skirmish, your chance of getting a mount collar is much lower than if you ran a master trial, for example. Same with shards of empowerment. The idea is that we're trying to get you to run the content that you're most comfortable with, that you can do efficiently, and then get better rewards as a result of that. But if you're not efficient in that content, you're obviously better served
they didn't
to
fix it
stay
yet.
in your lane until you increase your player power, your skill, or whatever the issue may be that's preventing you from moving into harder things.
I'm going to soften the stay in your lane, because people do need to improve. So basically, use the training road while you need it to move on to the next road. So
yeah, I mean what I really mean by that is that you should do the content that is the difficulty that you're comfortable with, and you will be rewarded accordingly with variable drop rates.
Cool.
And then seals were added to every queue. They weren't previously in every queue. In fact, they weren't in a lot of them, but now they are. And that was that thing that kept flickering, trying to show up. So if you run any of this type of content, you get either low or high seals in those amounts. It's just there in every single piece of queued content. And this goes back to my previous point that the random queue seal rewards went down with most of the random queue rewards. That's because the seals got added to every piece of content. So anytime you run any of these things, you're getting seals, either the lower tier seals. So right now the Seals of the Wild, I believe, and then Seals of the North are the current high ones. So you would get those in trials and advanced dungeons.
Double Carlos says, is the drop chance higher on more difficult content in the same type? For instance, will the drop chance in Zerial be higher than in Tom?
Currently, no.
Yeah, Lalo,
It's
nice
something
one.
we could look at, but it's probably going to just stay per content type because the intent is that
John, I don't
those
know.
experiences are all sort of the same difficulty and length. And we obviously have some mismatches, but some of those we've addressed actually. So Zariel and Tower of the Mad Mage will go up significantly because of their item level increases. But we have problems outside of that we need to address. Certain pieces of content in a category are easier or harder than others. So those are just action items for us to look at solutions.
Does the average time to complete queues
Lalo,
play
no.
into rewards too?
Yes.
Okay.
That they are set appropriately, which kind of goes back to before where trials were overvalued in a lot of cases because even though they are harder than a dungeon, their intent is to be harder than a dungeon and requires more coordination. They are also much shorter experiences. So in general, dungeons are now more rewarding than trials because of that time disparity.
Okay. Yeah, that was actually addressing some of the comments people made. So, all right. I would say go ahead.
All right. Premium loot. You might have heard some people call this tangible loot before. That's just what we call it internally. But premium loot, it's what you see for dungeon delvers and things like that. So
good stuff.
default rates of default rates of the premium loot are now set near what the current Dungeon Delvers Delight percentages are. So people like the rates of current Dungeon Delvers, they're slightly below that. So that's just the default now. It's close to Dungeon Delvers. So just across the board,
are you going to up the Dungeon Delvers
higher chances of getting premium loot.
And to anticipate the question,
50% increase.
Fine. Answer my question that I was going to, say players are going to have. So okay.
I felt it.
You man, good timing.
Yeah, because it got such a massive increase to the chance of getting premium loot. If we move forward with this, then Dungeon Delver's Delight will be a 50% increase on top of the current increase I just said when the event is active. So it would be 50% above almost already being at current Dungeon Delver's rates.
People seem very happy about that. So
now on top of that, the chances, and this ties into a lot of the other things, but the chances of higher tiers within premium loot have also dramatically increased. So I don't want to get into the nitty gritty, but basically when you roll to get a premium, like when you roll and you like successfully get premium loot, there's tiers within that of like how good is the thing that you're going to get with variable chances. So the chances of getting higher tiers now are increased dramatically. So you have like when you do get tangible loot, you have a higher chance of getting like one of the higher tiers. Like for example, our highest tier is the legendary mounts. So like you have a higher chance when you do get a when you get a premium loot roll to get into those tiers.
Cool.
Dan, I've added 7 new dies that are exclusive to premium loot that players can go after, and they are tradable.
Are they all shades of black like your soul?
No, they're not shades of black. One of them is called Midnight Light Candle Glow after our wonderful UI artist.
Aw, that makes me so happy. You made Jewel's die.
I did.
Does that affect mini boss drops?
All right.
I'm not really sure.
And then just some minor notes within the premium loot. There were 80 rewards within premium loot. Those values were doubled. There was a 36 slot bag. It's now a 42 slot bag. So if you roll the bag in the premium loot, you get a 42 slot instead of a 36. And we threw some mythic insignias into the highest tier of premium loot. So mythic insignias are now something that you can get within premium loot. It is the highest tier, so you're not going to be seeing them a lot, but we wanted to add in the chance to get a mythic insignia out of the premium loot.
People are asking about giveaways. I'm not going to do any to interrupt the stream right now, just because it's going to fill the chat with stuff. If we have time towards the end, I can do one at the end.
If you have power.
Go ahead.
Cool.
Oh, wow. Yay. Woo.
RP gems, no one's ever complained about those, have they? I've never heard anything like that. Black opals. But yeah, RP gems, obviously they were not very rewarding. They were roughly equivalent to what you could get out in the world, a little bit better in some cases, but in general, not the best. So when you run content now, these are the type of gems you can expect from the end chests. These will drop every time. So you will get one of these every time. And from each chest. So if it has 2 chests, you're getting 2 of these.
Oh, well.
And as you can see, those values are much higher than current values.
Pretty Lag says, can we get high tier enchants as premium rewards in the future?
Certainly not off the table. I'd put it in the feedback for preview.
Cool. All right. Lassor, hot damn, when you said you were busy, my lord, hot. It's on fire.
I've been working on a few things.
Well, that's what happens when you don't sleep, and Lassor does not sleep. So.
Obviously.
All right, go ahead.
Cool. Content-specific rewards. So, you run a random queue, you get something that maybe is a little bit longer, or maybe you're not comfortable with it, or maybe it's, not the most popular for whatever reason. So we want reasons to run specific things. So we've added a chase reward to every queue that didn't already have one. And what we mean by a chase reward is either a companion, an artifact, the associated artifact gear, fashion, or a transmute item. So some of them already had them. Those are just still there. Those that didn't have them had one added. And in most cases, the thing that got added was a transmute item. Now those are, I had a forum thread back in like January where I asked people like, hey, what's some things that you don't have, like that aren't available in the game anymore that you'd like to see back? Some of those items are now in the queues. I didn't want to say exactly what's in each one because, we like to have some form of discovery. But yeah, there's transmute items that have been added to a lot of queues that you can now chase.
That's what game needed
important
like
note,
2-3 years ago.
I don't think I put it, or yeah, I actually was right here. So all the chase rewards are tradable. So every piece of content has something that you can get that you can trade or give to other players. So it has at least one. Some of them have 2, some of them have up to like 4 or possibly more. But everyone has at least one. So if there's something in every single queue that you can get that you can trade with other players.
Why are you?
And nice? Also, some people really like this one. And once again, subject to change because we got to get the correct approvals and all that stuff. But at least as of right now on preview, all class restrictions were removed from the transmute items. So some of those things, like I said, already existed. What comes to mind? Zulkir's Dreadnought from Valindra's Tower. Before had class restrictions, now it does not. So once again, it's got to go through all the approvals and everything.
Well,
but that's,
pretty much
hopefully we
almost
can
everything,
keep it that way and keep those class restrictions off.
Late, but
I have a message from our lead systems designer saying, in case you were unaware, everyone wants a Starry Panther. So, want Starry Panther. A lot. Let me see any questions. Any more plans for gear? Okay, so I'm going to stop asking the question because there's a lot of specific about like the actual rewards, and I'm going to shift that over to...
Yeah, it's not everything, yeah.
I think an important note to separate myself, like my work from what Miku's work is. Miku deals with like item progression and new items and things that you're going to equip as you progress through our game and especially at the end game. This is all more sort of like general character progression and just incentives to run queues. So if that helps to separate it a little bit, like I could, like if your comment was like, I don't like this specific weapon out of this trial, like that would fall more under Miku rather than me.
Will class restriction removal be applied? They say retrospectively, but I think they meant retroactively.
No. These are new items. So if you have like for the transmutes that existed, if you had them, then cool, you get to keep them. These are new items that are now tradable. That prevents cases where like the intent is that these have some value on the market and they're interesting things that people want to get, and that obviously would be derailed if somebody's stockpiling like 50 of these things and then they suddenly have 50 things to throw on the market. So they are different items.
Frankie Boz says, when is it all coming? It's a lot of stuff. Mod 23. I believe all this is for Dragon Slayer, correct?
Correct.
Yep. But I do want to reiterate that, as always, everything is subject to change, especially during this period where we have things on preview. We're listening to feedback. So that's why we're always sometimes cautious about, we're always cautious about giving exact saying, making it like this, the complete truth, because sometimes things
Fashion
can
the
shift,
real end game.
and it's not
right?
later on people say you lied, you misrepresented. No, it's just that during this period, things can shift depending on the feedback we get. So we don't want to give specific numbers because we don't know what they're going to be like when it actually releases. But M23 is what we're aiming for. So, how do we know which queue drops which chase fashion items? Will it be shown in the dungeon description or in the queue?
Currently not. We're leaving that as more of a discovery thing. So
okay.
Currently not. It's certainly something you could give feedback on. But as of right now, there's no
Kevin.
There's no
I highly doubt
information that in the game that says like, yeah, this is the place where you get that thing. And that also just that implies that, people are going to want this particular thing, and the player market will determine the value of a lot of these things.
Cool. All right. I think you can move on.
Cool. That leads us to our final category.
Wait, someone jumped in. Will the transmute restrictions removal apply to main offhand weapons as well as gear?
No. And that so just to be clear, there's no weapon transmute chases specific to content, but that leads into this slide right here. So perfect transition. So weapon transmute chases, these have been added to different types of queues. So for example, the Termian weapons, they were removed specifically from Dread Legion and added to all skirmishes. Once again, tradable. But they're in all skirmishes as opposed to just Dread Legion. They are low drop rates, so these weapon transmutes are intended to be rare things that you'd get. So hopefully that'll make them more valuable in the market. And then with that, there's a new Termian lute and rapier that's available. They're pretty cool. So giving the bards a little bit of love because they didn't get a unique Termian lute and rapier in the past.
Right.
Blue fire weapons. Going back to that forum thread, blue fire weapons were one of the things that aren't available in the game anymore, and we wanted to bring those back. So those are now added to all trials and dungeons. So if you run any trial or dungeon that's not advanced or master, you can get a blue fire weapon transmute. And also there will be a new blue fire lute and rapier.
No Goring Sword, no.
And then I didn't know how to classify this one. So there's a reward table in the Infernal Citadel, which is a collection of like random weapon costumes that players could go after, but it's only in Infernal Citadel. So I've been calling them like internally the collector weapons. But whatever you want to call those, the weapons that were previously available in the Infernal Citadel are now available as weapon transmutes in all advanced dungeons and master trials. And within that set,
new players,
there is now a new draconic lute and rapier that is available, and I freaking love the draconic lute. It's super cool looking.
You need one in real life so you can do a concert. Because
I
heard that
would be an expensive weapon or an expensive instrument.
Lassor loves musicals.
But yeah, these are intended to be rare drops. You will not see them often. They are big reward tables, so you're.
Is it?
If you're specifically saying like I want to run advanced dungeons to get like the Goring Greatsword or whatever it's called, it's something along those lines.
Yeah, that's Greatsword of Goring.
Your chances of getting that exact
weapon
are low, but you probably would get a weapon. You'll definitely get a weapon periodically. And you could sell that weapon or trade it with somebody else who happened to get the Greatsword.
Slideshow.
Get a little player economy going.
Imagine that.
But But these are rare enough that it's going to be difficult to get the exact thing that you want. You're more likely going to get into a trading and bartering situation.
Will they be in collections?
You may be on point.
No,
yeah.
They won't be in collections.
And by the way, I'm totally ruining your reputation because I said you love musicals. So I personally love musicals for real, no sarcasm. But apparently, Lassor doesn't like joy.
I guess I'm a hater.
Yeah, never punish a vet.
Are these new weapon transmutes unbound, and can any class obtain any class-specific transmutes as drop, like in Valenhus?
Not sure if I followed it completely, but they are all anybody can get any of these drops, and they are tradable. So you can't there's class restrictions on the weapons as usual.
Yeah,
so
it's PowerPoint. Yeah.
If you're a rogue and you get the ranger bow, you can't equip it, but you could trade it with other players or pass it to an altar, whatever you want to do with it. You could sell it on the auction house, whatever.
Cool. Yeah, all the other questions I'm seeing right now are good for a reward stream, so I'm gonna save those for later for another stream. Do you have any more slides, or is that the?
That's the end.
What? No flashy end screen?
No flashy end screen.
No,
Sorry.
in PowerPoint, really?
Dark Angel says I like musicals too, Julia. Good. See, we need more musicals.
I don't know, Anna.
Let's see. Will existing bound transmutes become unbound?
Yeah, with the unbind tokens.
I'm trying to think if there's an exception. No, in general, and I can't think of any exceptions to that. Once again, that was a precaution for ruining the market right out the gate. So if you have those things, they're not going anywhere. You still have them, but anything that drops from this point forward would be a separate item that is tradable, and yours would remain bound in its original state.
Yeah, Kevin, glad to back you and get
any
you
news
on
on enchantments? I know that was discussed in an earlier stream. I don't know if they mean enchantments or enhancement. I think
I don't have any. I didn't do any work on enchantments, okay. And there's no enchantments in the rewards. So,
yep.
So I have nothing to comment on that. But no enchantments.
Okay. But yeah, I do want to reassure because there's a lot of questions coming in that are now being very reward specific. So I do, I am not ignoring you folks. It's just that these are questions that I know Lassor's going to say I can't answer that. So I'd rather not go through that and just say wait until we have the reward stream, and then you can ask all these questions to your heart.
No.
Yep. Once again, Miku is the one who handles all of the reward stuff. I was very focused on specifically what are you getting in queues and incentives therein, tangible premium loot and things of that nature.
The Traveling Wizard also asked when this is coming out again. Yes, it is M23 or Dragon Slayer. And I am bringing up Moobot, so do a giveaway. Because I think we can do one giveaway real quick. Let's see. All right. Oh, not that. There we go.
Around 10 to 15 million, John. Right. I would say.
If you want a chance to win a Rainbow Starry Panther mount and vanity pet, go ahead and enter the word musicals. 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 In your honor, Lassor.
Well, that's going on. Somebody asked when this will all be implemented. It's on preview right now. Yeah. There might be some exceptions because I made the changes, I believe, after Vincent made the current build, but I think he's pushing a new build. So if that's the case, then it should mostly all be in there, and if it's not, it's a bug.
Yeah, I mean, I was in the stream, so I haven't been able to check, but I do know that Tiamat was talking to QA to see if a new build would be available for preview. But we'll let you folks know. And someone said they wanted to know about Tiamat this week, and they thought I heard something, and then I think, last year you were still looking to hopefully turn Tiamat both Master and Normal on this weekend, correct?
That is my plan. Hopefully right after the stream ends.
Yep.
So,
will you have?
Looking forward to getting people in there and testing it out and seeing what they think.
Will you have a feedback thread on the preview forums?
I will.
Yay!
Vanity
I like it when people
I have to make it.
do what I want them to do.
Yeah, I originally was going to wait a little bit longer on making Tiamat available for preview because I thought it might need a little more iteration, but we're in a pretty good spot. I'm happy with it, and so a lot of they can speak for themselves, but a lot of the closed alpha testers have given me great feedback, and they seem to like it a lot too. So I think it's ready.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Steamroller actually says preview
that's
just went down
correct.
for maintenance, and ETM when it will be back up roughly. Oh, so it looks like we are updating to the new build. So Steamroller, I don't have an ETA, but I can check on that this after the stream. Hopefully it won't be too long, and you all can start playing the updated stuff. And I think Lassor does have to go and manually like turn on the content, or do you have to ask someone to do it?
I have the permissions to go on there and do it, but yeah, I do it manually.
Okay. I also want to address people have been like, I had some concerns about how a PowerPoint presentation would go because they're not always the flashiest.
How dare you?
But it seems like people really liked it, and they're saying, why not use this format? This is not a format you can use for every stream. Some streams are more casual. Some streams are more laid back, what questions come up. And other times it's not just that we don't always come in with a bunch of information. Sometimes we come in with what information do you want to know. So in this case, Lassor just had a whole vault of info that he already had prepared.
It's 10 people, not 15.
But knowing that it was well received, if other streams could benefit from this, then I have no problem with doing more PowerPoint. We've actually figured out how to do it technically as well. So. I have been talking to the people who manage community in Europe to see if they can localize some of the information that was shared today. So hopefully we can get them a copy of this and they can localize things. So.
And a lot of this was just to keep it all straight in my head because, a lot of this started as a lesser effort, but then as you dive in and you realize the effect you're having on other systems, like, oh, I gotta do stuff over here, and I gotta do stuff over here, and I gotta do stuff over here, and then it sort of bloated to this bigger endeavor.
Yeah. All right, I'm gonna draw first.
It's Winter
Nasty. I always want to say nasty, which is winter is not nasty. I love snow. Winter Nasty. So congratulations. I'm gonna draw 2 more. Joy Boy 1, congratulations. And M. Kilroy, congratulations. M. Kilroy, Joy Boy, and Winter Nesty on winning Rainbow Starry Panther mount and Vanity Pet. If you can please email community@crypticstudios.com or ping me on, DM me on our Cryptic Studios on Twitch, and I actually have all the codes ready. I have spreadsheets of codes, so I don't have to create campaigns. I can just give them to you live. I just need to know what platform you're on, if you're on PC, on Xbox, or on PlayStation. So congratulations on that one. And if you do want to email, the email again is community@crypticstudios.com.
This was a very solid stream.
Let's go back to the chat. Will the PowerPoint slides be published?
Oh, you won.
I don't have a problem with that, but I want to talk to Lassor.
Nice, Winter.
He's okay with that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Doesn't matter to me.
All right. I will discuss.
Information's out there. It's not a secret.
Yeah. I mean, the stream is also out there where they can see the slides. So I'll talk to internally and see if we can put it out there. So. All right. Any parting words? Questions. Would questions about dungeon chess keys made from campaign currency fall under this stream or the reward stream? I think that's next, the reward stream, right?
Yeah, I would say that fall more on rewards. If there's a case where
no, Neptunes.
I'm pretty sure we don't have this, but if there was a case where a key couldn't be made for some reason and the chest couldn't be opened, then I would absolutely want to know about that so I could fix it. But in terms of resources to make keys and things of that nature, that would fall outside of the scope of what I'm doing.
Answering some people here. All right. Hopefully that answered the question how to contact me for prizes. Okay, well, I really appreciate you doing this. Let's go back to... where do I have this so they can all see our wonderful faces? There we go.
Wait, you want me to stop screen sharing?
No, you can leave it up there.
Okay.
But yeah, thank you everybody. It's been great questions. Hopefully you all enjoyed it. You seem to, so that's good. And thank you again, Lassor.
Thanks, guys.
I always enjoy spending time with you. So.
Happy to be here.
Because you give me information that makes me happy.
At least we got some information from a serious developer. One of them that's left.
As always, stay safe, everybody. We will rewatch later this on, kind of discuss internally about how this went, see if you have any follow-up questions. But hopefully we have more streams we can announce in the coming few weeks. rewards, the bar changes that went through, a bunch of other stuff. So stay safe, have a wonderful weekend, and I hope you enjoy facing Mommy Dragon this weekend on preview. So,
yeah.
Take care, everybody.
All right,
Bye.
Spartan. Good stream, guys. See you around soon, and be safe. Have a nice weekend. See you.